what's interesting about this offseason is it's the transition to Trey Lance unofficially. And a lot of people are getting in their hot takes before we get more evidence. We basically still haven't seen much of Trey Lance. Some have seen more than others if you've been to practice like I have, but we really haven't seen much. And anyone who's willing to go out and say, I heard something, or I've seen, I have a better eye, he's not good, is going to get a lot of attention. So that's, I think, a big reason why you're starting to see people come out and say, I heard Trey Lance isn't good, because all of a sudden you're a celebrity if you say that. The most recent guy is a guy from Philly, Matt Lombardo, who tweeted real casually, I've heard that the 49ers are continually underwhelmed by the, he tweeted it just like that in that tone. I've heard that the 49ers are continually underwhelmed by Trey Lance. And then that tweet went viral. He went on the radio here in the Bay Area and clarified his statement. So I'm going to read what he said. He said, this all stems from a conversation that I had with an executive who's pretty tight with people within the Niners organization. So it was already once removed. He heard from an executive who heard from people in the organization. Then following up with a couple of members of the coaching staff. Who? A couple of members of the coaching staff. Yeah, Trey Lance is trash. I like you, Matt Lombardo. I'm going to tell you because I trust you. The feeling around San Francisco, this is Lombardo again, so dating back to last summer during training camp. So it's old news. Was a little bit of disappointment over the Trey Lance that arrived in training camp versus what they saw on film at North Dakota State from an arm strength standpoint, from a deep ball accuracy standpoint. He's actually making the claim that the Niners thought his arm wasn't strong enough. That's new. I heard a lot of people say he threw too hard last year, needed some touch. Now, Lombardo saying he doesn't throw hard enough. The dude is Goldilocks. He's the Goldilocks of quarterbacks. No matter what he does, it's either too hard, too soft, too this, too that. Doesn't matter the actual end result, but the process was too something. This is back to Lombardo. He says, and then you look at when he got into the games this season, he didn't exactly set the world on fire, except for the fact that he was in 3 games, and in 2 of those games, his quarterback rating was above 115. I mean, what more do you want from a freaking rookie? But okay, didn't set the world on fire. Now, I know he had the injury, says Lombardo. I know he was a rookie, and it certainly takes time for NFL quarterbacks to develop, but the Niners gave up a lot to get Trey Lance. Yeah. How is that a sentence? And then the questions that I keep hearing about the deep ball accuracy and the arm strength in practice. Questions about arm strength in practice. Some whispers about how quickly he is understanding the playbook. Oh, you always hear that? I'm not going to go there. But you always hear that with black quarterbacks, right? Whispers about how he's understanding the playbook like he's a freaking idiot. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. You never hear people say stuff like this about Jimmy Garoppolo. Deep ball accuracy, arm strength, understanding the playbook. That's Jimmy. It's like this Lombardo was like eavesdropping, someone talking about Niners quarterback, and he just assumed they were talking about Trey Lance. They're clearly talking about Jimmy. Deep ball accuracy? Yeah, that's Jimmy. How could anyone watch the Niners last year in training camp, 2 quarterbacks, and come away being like, yeah, that number 5 just can't throw deep balls like number 10. That number 5 just doesn't have the juice on his throws like number 10. Are you kidding? Anyway, back to Lombardo. Again, this guy never even went to practice. I was at practice. I saw this. He's saying what he heard from someone who probably wasn't there. Yeah, I'm back to Lombardo. Hold on. Yeah, I'm back to Lombardo. The concerns that were shared with me stems from last year in training camp. Last year when he was able to practice during the regular season, but quarterbacks do make those big leaps from year 1 to year 2. I think that's the sort of leap the Niners have to hope Trey Lance makes in his second year. Lance is going to have to show up this spring and this summer ready to prove that he can make that leap. Thanks, Matt. At least that's just what I've been hearing. I love, man. You can always say, that's just what I heard. Anyway, that's how I feel about Matt Lombardo's report. It's pretty flimsy. He's talking about stuff third hand from last year. And I think he told on himself when he said that he doesn't throw hard enough. Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You weren't at practice. Stop passing off third-hand information that's wrong and old. Do better. Because you're doing it at the expense of a young black quarterback. It's not right, man. You know you're doing that. Doesn't understand the playbook. What? Say that about Jimmy. How come you can't say that about Jimmy, but you can say that about Trey when you don't even know him? There's no evidence of what Trey can or can't do other than what I've seen in practice, not what you've seen. Anyway, it's profitable to hate Trey Lance, as you've seen. I had a writer on my channel, on my site, no longer writes for my site, who was just dumping on Trey Lance every chance he could get because it's like shouting fire in a movie theater. I mean, you get a lot of attention. Trey Lance is terrible. Everyone's like, how do you know? What have you seen? Who have you talked to? I just know. Anyway, it's annoying.